Hey, what's up, guys? Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz back again with another set review. We're doing Bofuri today. We got yellow. We just did the trial deck. I'm Andy, joined with Brian, Carmen, and Tyler,
What
the
up?
usual suspects.
Hi. Hello.
And yeah. But before we get started, so I know Tyler got a playset of Bofuri, and I think Carmen did too. You
Yeah, I
guys have
got
been
mine in
like,
today. Yeah.
you guys have been messing around with some of the builds. What have you guys been messing around with so far? Just to give like a little bit of framing for like the context of the set, like for rating the
Pants,
cards.
pants, choice, and 8 standby are like what I've like competitively looked at, and then I have Maple Waifu sleeved because we're going to that event.
In my opinion, I tried out 8 standby so far and I hated it.
mm. But you played
So
like pants choice, right? Like the
I currently have Pants Choice sleeved up. It's really solid. And one of my favorite, but I wouldn't say it's the best, was 8 Choice.
8 choice. Yeah,
Yeah. It was really fun to play.
that's like
8
the
Choice.
waifu deck. It's like
Mhm.
maple.
I mean, playing into 8 choice, what I've seen is 8 choice really enables you to get Tri-Field and Exile Wall online fairly consistently almost every game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only played it. I've only played against it. I know Zach at our
has
locals
it.
was playing it, and he had the I think it was pants into something. I think the level 1 combo was off pants. It was like the Shizu sort of combo at level 1,
Yes.
and then he had this really sick early play from Graveyard Soul Ball thing, and he's like,
Yep.
"Yeah, I play this card, and then it lets me play this other card from the graveyard. Oh, and they're both Soul Balls." And I'm like, "Zach, you sure you
Yeah.
don't need to check your translation on that?"
Yeah. Like that's
And
the whole
we're
gimmick.
looking, we're like, "Holy shit, that's pretty good."
Yeah, the build around package around the level 3 Maple, which is the card after this one that we have up on screen right now, is pretty crazy. It's pretty potent. Like regardless of your idea on what that kind of design is like in a trading card game, it turned out pretty strong here, and it's pretty flavorful and pretty fun. So
Definitely a lot of unique effects in this set. It's not like a good and boring set. It's like seems like a good and fun set. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to review this.
Pants Choice is definitely like the sort of immediate go-to build is what I think we can end on.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
like
the intuition there is you want some way to recur your choice as much as possible, since it itself is not on gate like Exile combos usually are.
yeah.
I see. Well, I just wanted to get like a sense of framing for the
Yep.
viewers out there and myself. But yeah, let's jump into it now. We got this double rare is. That is her name. When you play it, you can pay 1, clock yourself, search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. We got another true Ricky. They've been printing these like crazy lately. And when the battle opponent of your other character becomes reversed, this card gains 1,000 power for the turn.
It gets bigger as you win lanes. Better Ricky than average.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm down with the second effect because you usually don't want to be playing a Ricky turn 1 anyway, right? You want to be like turn 2 playing it so you can pay the stock, get your plus. So
Tri-field.
probably dual fielding or tri fielding. So that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, card's good. Ricky
Reminds me a lot of the Finn Ricky from Adventure Time.
Yeah, like True Ricky is like the best enabler of an aggressive early game that you can possibly play.
Yeah, for sure.
It's too selective, it's too consistent. If you have the opportunity to run it, you run 3 or 4 of it in like every deck. And you gotta have a good reason to run even 3 at that point, especially because it's like one of your main color fixes for yellow. It ends up being because like a lot of like there's like 2 really good yellow zeros, and then like everything else it starts to fall off a little bit. There's a couple other good ones, but your like other zeros are like filled out by other colors, so you get to run a lot of your Ricky, and it's your color fix.
It's kind of interesting they've gone back to normal Rickies so much lately. I feel like they used to print them all the time, and then there was a period of time where they just like it was too good and they just didn't print it.
Well, it was like they said it was really good, so they stopped printing it as often, and then they started printing more standby stuff. And then when standby started to like take over the game, they realized, when more aggressive decks don't have this tool, the standby decks just bully them out of existence. So it's kind of like a bounce back, kind of, to a certain degree. But yeah, we can move on. Ricky, we've talked about Ricky a lot, so.
All right. Up next here we have Maple Loving Sacrifice. I'm going to refer to it by name because a million other cards are also going to refer to it by name, and I feel like that's relevant.
It's important. Yeah.
This card is an early play with 2 or fewer climaxes in waiting room, heals on play, and has climax combo with this choice. When it attacks, if you have a full field of game characters until the end of your opponent's turn, it goes up to 11/5 and has continuous. The card opposite this gets -2 soul.
Early play neg soul walls are really stupid. This is the first one they've printed since Rewrite. And Rewrite was meta defining at the time.
Yeah,
that it released. Healed. Yeah, like healing neg soul walls are so stupid.
Usually we don't get till blue until the very end, but spoiler alert, I think it's a blue card that goes with this, the back row assist.
The Conade. Yeah.
It summons this from graveyard and gives it hexproof.
Makes it hexproof.
Yeah, it makes all this or the red finisher have hexproof. So it's really important for your early play neg soul wall to like be as resilient as possible. So like healing and then also being hexproof and also being 11/5 on climax combo, which is like a very defensible like power lineup. It's like
oh my god,
everything you want.
Zach's smug face as he plays this against me. I'm like, wait, it summons for free from graveyard and it has hexproof and it gets 2,500 power. This is bullshit.
Well, not for free from graveyard. You have to ditch 2, but
you have to ditch 2 cards, but like you also have to have a card with that name on field. So it summons an additional
your
Maple.
Second copies, like...
Yeah, it can summon any copy of any card as long as it's on the current field. You can shit out an additional copy.
Right,
it's
not specifically this card.
And you can pitch any 2 cards. So if you flood climaxes, the climax out. And I don't want to like completely spoil that card, but I think it's really important when you're talking about this. You can like ditch the card from your hand as part of the cost, and then summon it from the grave. So like you can hoard it in your hand too to put multiples out. You have to rest the card. So, like, you can only put out 1 additional copy. But, like, what if you have a climax in stock and, like, after playing 2, you've invalidated your 2 or less condition? It lets you, like, dodge the 2 or less condition on your successive turns.
Yeah.
Because you only need to protect 1 lane. If you protect 1 Maple, you get your Maple back. So you only need 1 Maple to live to recur this in 2 lanes. Makes it really, really good. It's very, very resilient, which is exactly what these cards need to be. Coterie was super resilient because, like, she had a bazillion things behind her. That's the Rewrite one, where she healed and had neg soul, but then, like, she had a billion support cards that made her massive and unkillable in the current meta and shit like that. But, like, this is, like, a completely different level of resilience.
Do you think there'd sometimes be some issues with, like, getting this early play off? Because it's 2 or less climaxes. So if you can't get the first one off, then since you need to have a copy of it on the field, you won't be able to get the second one off.
Well, Andy, I want you to look at slide number 50 real quick, because I think this card is also pretty important. They have a card, the level 0, where you can discard a copy of this level 3 to free fresh your deck.
Does the copy go back, or does it stay in waiting room?
It doesn't stay in waiting room, but it does go back. But like you can free fresh to sort of set yourself back up.
Yeah, it allows you to hit that condition at a cost, obviously. But yeah,
it seems like a pretty steep cost because you're getting rid of one of your. You need 2 copies of that Angel Maple.
True, but like
shuffling 1 back. That seems like a pretty heavy cost actually, but it is a free fresh.
Yeah, it's a way to get back into it. But even then, I mean, like 2 or less. If you really want to hit your 2 or less, it's not hard to find some way to do it.
Okay.
I think it's been consistent enough for me at least. I played a couple games today, like 4 or 5 games, and I got this off in multiples pretty much every game, even when I was having kind of bad games. It was like my one way back in. So yeah, card's really fucking good. I think I'll give this an A+ because of the package around it. I think if you want to play a neg soul wall, this is the new one that you should be playing. I think this might be better than Priestess, just because it's a healer.
I think so, because the hexproof lets it get around the main drawback of a soul wall, is that they can bounce it or blink it or do something to mess with you before.
And if they want to Adachi this, they're
stat.
swinging in for 0, and like God for the only bad zone for this is what is it? Is bottom deck, because you can you can heal it off, you can bring your stock back out. So like only a blue Adachi would be really bad into this, would actually remove it. You could get it back in the other ways, I'm pretty sure. So
Doesn't get hit by my little Shido.
nope, it's hexproof. They'd have to they have to kill the they'd have to level down the Conade in the back and then level down this. Which is like, you know what, go ahead, destroy your hand at that point.
Yeah. It seems like an A+ to me.
You want to play Nexol, this is what you play.
It's a good one. Yep.
Alright. We got this Maya and Yui. Before I read the card, this card has super sick, we don't get this all the time. This card has 2 SPs, one for Maya and one for Yui, and they have like different background art. If you're someone who's into the high rarity stuff, check those cards out. They're really cool looking. We don't get the sort of dual foil stuff very often. So there's like an SPA and an SPB for just this card, which is pretty neat. You can check the arts out on Yuyute. But yeah, it's when you play from hand to stage, you have a full field. You get to choose a character in your waiting room, put it into your stock, so it plays for 1. Then it's a Musashi, so it's 1 cost Musashi. Normally, I do not like Musashis, but when Musashis are played for 1 stock, that's actually really cool and really efficient. Especially when I am dedicating 4 climaxes and a bunch of cards to a Nexol wall, and I do not have a real finisher.
There's your finisher. You hit level 3, you go bam, 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 and you just try field Musashis and you get them.
Or even just like play one of them and recur your combo.
Just in an open
Yeah.
lane, yeah.
It's like just keep chipping. It helps you keep chipping.
Sounds like the deck has a bit of a stock crunch too, because it seems like
Yeah,
the Angel Maple's really strong, but
you're paying 2.
it's pretty
Yeah,
costly to get it out there probably.
Right, you're
Like, a lot of
dedicating 2
cards for
stock to
hand,
every
less
copy
stock.
of it.
Yeah.
So a nice like 1 stock off finisher seems like a really nice complement to that.
I mean, this also goes really well with the event.
Yeah, I was gonna
We'll see
say
here in a couple of cards.
there's an
later.
event. I kind of want to hold the talk about that because I think that's sort of its own deck. Because I've tried putting it in all the other decks and it never works because it's too expensive.
No,
But,
it
like-
always works, Carmen. It
Tyler
always
slams into
works.
Everything.
Oh my
Just
god,
slams
no!
It always works. I'm telling you.
How do you
man.
get it off? How do you get that shit off?
It works every time.
How do you play? Like you 6 cancel burn hit him? I guess
I've
we
died-
could spoil it. It's pretty important.
I've died to that card so often.
So there's a 3/3 event in the set. It's in yellow that gives all of your characters cancel burn 1. So for 6 stock, if you like puke your hand out on the board, which I mean like you're holding board with the maples, so like you might actually have 4 cards left back. As long as you have 6 stock, you can threaten 6 instances of cancel burn, 3 of which are variable in how much burn damage they do. That's hyper efficient for that much damage output.
How much does the event cost? It's a
3.
A 3/3. Okay,
So it's a 3/3.
that's solid.
Give your whole board cancel burn, and these all cost 1. Like, provided that you one board the previous turn, and you don't have to like overextend your hand to play multiple.
Yeah, normally what I've done is the previous turn, I would have like comboed with 1 or 2 copies of the Nexol Maple, so they would live, and then I would play 1 or 2 copies of these along with the
Maples.
event.
I don't know how you got enough stock, but like, because like I even in 8 choice I was having some stock issues, but then again like I wasn't playing this card because I was playing Maple Waifu. But
I mean, the 8 choice, I think I had the easiest time because you just go, here's 4 copies, resonate. They sit at 10-5.
oh yeah, that's right. You get to like just sit there.
Yeah.
Organize. But yeah, I think there's probably a very directed build that abuses that strategy.
Mhm.
Because that's a lot of damage for not a lot of stock. 6 stock for 6 instances of damage is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a lot of
especially
damage.
killing from 6-0. Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage.
But yeah,
Cards
card's
suck,
cool.
Card suck. Just bad wig from Mob Psycho.
I had to pass on maxing this set because I'm maxing Kaguya. But if there's one foil I go after, it's like 2 Mai, 2 UESPs. It's like,
I saw
this
this
card's
SP
really
in half.
pretty.
I don't know. The secret rare maple Negsoul is
That
beautiful.
card's too expensive.
It's so pretty though.
It's like $400.
It is for
Yeah, I'm afraid of how expensive that card's gonna be in English.
Yeah.
It's gonna be at least 500.
Yeah, because like what the unions and megamines were going for like $500-$600.
Yeah, they're both. I
So.
think they both settled at like 500 right now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, really cool card. And I'm giving a Musashi an A, so it's got to be a good card. I hate this profile, but it's a good card. All right, moving on. Another good card.
Alright, this one is a interesting card. During your opponent's turn, it gets 4k. So it'll sit at 45 on your opponent's turn, but only 5 on your turn. And you can also pay 1, sack it, look at top 4, take a game character.
So you know how we run those cards where we say we're going to clean cut them and they like pay 1, send themselves to memory or kill themselves and turn themselves into mill? We had like the Ishtar that was a coin flip and that was all on 1 card. And that was like kind of like good, right? Because it was like when it did plus, it turned itself into mill. What if all your card had to do to turn itself into mill and plus was live and it was a 4500? 4500 is like unclimbable. The only out to this card is bombing it. In which case
Right.
they traded your card. The only problem is it doesn't run anything over.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't kill anything, so your
you-
opponent plus is on board too.
my experience with this card in deck building and like theory crafting and discussing it with some other people, Dan and Jason, who've been like brewing with Bofuri and stuff, is like, unfortunately, we cannot run this card as like a 4 of, as like our primary plussing 0 and stuff like that. We run it the way Sal 10th runs Heathcliff, where it's like a stock out because you're playing choice. So a stock out, and then like it's also a deck control tool. You run like 2 or 3 of it, and it doesn't go to memory like Heathcliff, so it's recyclable. So you can probably run like 2 and have it be fine. And like it's your main phase deck control and like stock out tool. That when you draw it in the opening turns is a fat body that turns itself into first deck mill. Like, which is all really fucking good.
Yeah, for
Like-
sure.
See, I feel like you could easily just like cram 4 copies of this, because it's like basically guaranteed to live back. You kind of just like
The problem's the stock.
you don't worry too much about level 0. You're kind of just saying your opponent gets to do their thing at level 0 and you do your thing, and you just build up your stock and attack into level 1.
The problem is the stock, though, is because like you want to spend so much stock on this other stuff. When you're running a ton of it, it starts to become a little dead, which is why you like cut it down to 2 or 3 instead of running it as like your primary level 0 field plus. But it is a good card.
Because you don't always want to be spending 1 to
Yeah, yeah.
You might have to crash it at some point.
But the card's great. Like, I don't know. Is giving an A+ to this like too good? I could just
I
give
think
it
so.
an
I don't
A.
think so. I'm
It's
gonna give it an A+.
That's
like
good
an A
card.
tier card. I think when you combine these effects onto 1 card, because I thought the Ishtar was pretty close to being really dumb, but that was a coin flip and it had a fail case. The fail case for this is my opponent is running bombs, which, to be fair, in English is more common because every play plays a pile of Bang Dream garbage at regionals. But like, yeah, I don't know. Card's good for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Main phase controllable mill, always good.
Yeah.
Clears a
definitely.
spot for itself in standby, also important. It's a card that you can. It does clear a spot on your field for standby. So.
Oh, that's really nice in
important for
standby
those
because you run a
builds.
lower 0 count. So this you just ride this through 0 and then you can sack it off going into your standby turns.
Yeah, and it removes a spot on the board since you don't have like a bounce back hand tool. I don't believe. You have like a lot of ditch tools, but you don't have a bounce back to hand tool. So clearing a spot is pretty valuable.
Maybe you run 4 of this and 8 standby.
Yeah, possibly. That would make sense because you need stockouts in that deck too. So, all right, we can move
All right.
on.
This is what Mai and Yui again,
Yep.
right? When you're level 0 at 500, when your character's trigger check reveals a climax, choose one of your characters and give it 1,000 for the turn. And Brainstorm, Mill 4, for each climax revealed, you get to perform the following action. Look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose any card from among them, put it into your hand, and the rest to waiting room.
This is like the one from Slime.
I like this Brainstorm conceptually. I have yet to see it perform well though.
It reads a lot stronger than it plays.
I forgot Slime even had this.
Yeah.
People usually don't play it. Why don't people play it?
Because you have no problem turboing through your deck.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know. In Slime, you have Shizu, but I guess in Bofuri, you also have like the
card we
version of
just looked
Shizu.
at, and Shizu. Like
their level 1 combo similar.
This card is like a way for a deck to like really rip its way through it like itself. And it's yet to be necessary in any set it's been in. Like there's always a better option.
Yeah.
Because like the selectivity is bad compared to other Brainstorms because it's all 3 of the deck. So if you play this, you're not playing it for the selectivity. You're playing it because you're like running like 20 events or some shit, and you have no way to put them in your hand. Or
grab them,
you just want to run through your deck as quickly as possible. Also, my version of the card that used this art was better.
Yeah, Bushiroad should just hire you, Carmen.
Yeah, dude, my bag support was lit.
Now the book support card was my favorite, but
Yeah,
love to read.
love to read. But yeah, I still to this day do not see a use case for this card. But I can't say it's terrible. But like, I don't see a use case for this profile yet. There's got to be a set that has a use case for like a one of this Brainstorm. But like,
that's basically my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Maybe in standby, like 8 standby, you can kind of like get your standbys to your hand, dump the stuff you want in your graveyard, like set up your standbys.
I guess I think Bofuri is more of a 8 standby deck that triggers versus plays, because like it doesn't have a pop back to hand or any of that shit.
Perhaps. I really like the fact that you can just grab anything off it though. Like you can get a climax, you can get an event, a character, whatever. And you can vary your deck speed depending, how you want. But
on solo Brainstorm, on solo. The
I don't know,
Harrison
I hope they just keep printing these Brainstorms because I want them to be good. I want there to be a set where like you have to run this type of Brainstormer, and then we'll really see how it performs.
Cute art. Next card.
All right, we've got this is level 0, 1000 power. When this card attacks, choose one of your other characters. It gets X power for the turn. X is 1000 power times that character's soul. It also has repeatable act ability, pay 1. Choose a game character that gets +1 soul for the turn.
Infinite power. Infinite power. Limited by your stock.
Swing for 9 souls. Huge body.
Does let you set up nasty side attacks. But ultimately,
But you said this deck has a major stock crunch, so
yeah, bad card. It's like, yeah, it is synergistic in a way, but like it's not a good card.
Yeah, you don't have the extra stock to waste on pumping soul, unfortunately.
All right. Wow, it's the Maple level 1 combo. This card's a trip. So when you play the choice Maple Tree from your hand, you may choose a level X or lower character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. X equals the number of Maple Trees in your waiting room. So if you have the other 3 climaxes in your waiting room, you can salvage a level 3 or lower.
Yeah, it's like the Nagisa combo from Key Anniversary.
Yeah, then when this card attacks, you can reveal any number of the 3/2 Maple Neg Soul from your hand. And if you do, until the next end of your opponent's turn, this gains 1,500 times the number of them that you reveal. So it's possibly a 1/10k wall.
Yep.
Yeah, this card is hella meme.
I've been on the receiving end of attack resonate 4.
Oh, I did that 2 games today, I think, even in my first rounds of testing. I was able to quad. That being said, I also did not combo that turn because I was like sculpting my hand to have quad. But like,
Oh, it is independent of the.
yeah, you don't need the combo to do the second effect.
Very interesting.
So
If
yeah,
you
you
have
can at least
two-
just wall if you don't have the combo.
If you have 2, it's a 7k.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
That's like
For,
the like the average
hmm
that you'll
Which is-
get.
Yeah, which is fine on its own.
You do have a
Nice,
2k backup in the set. You have a Frederica backup, so backing up to 9k. That is more than defendable. Is a costless character. You're subject to cost bombs. In English, cost bombs are more prevalent. You have Fate, obviously. Whether they decide to stay with Bar or like move to Door after the new set comes out, which will be our next set review, by the way. Heaven's Feels Volume 2. But they're running bombs. Konosuba is like playing the Cosmo Bomb to a certain extent. Other decks running cost bombs. So the cost isn't cost 0 is like somewhat of a liability. Just because Fate is super popular. But yeah, combo it's a big fine. It's mostly meme, I think.
I don't know. It has good synergy with the brainstormer. Dump those maple trees in your graveyard.
Maybe.
I would
think
rather
that's
just
what they're
run.
going for.
You could also just play a selective brainstorm that just grabs the maple level 3.
Yeah, that's probably more of what you want. You want to get the maple or get this. Whatever you want. Yeah, combo is I'll give it like a C plus.
I think it's fine, based on my limited experience playing against it.
I think it's way too cute to like be like a contender for what you would actually play. But
I mean, I still think it's solid. I just think there are better options.
Agreed.
It's kind of all in. Like you need to just have all the pieces very quickly for it.
Yeah, it just makes your game plan just amass as many copies of the Neg Soul in hand as possible.
Which is fine, because then you can play the Neg Soul and Neg Soul like whenever you hit 2.
Yeah, and we were talking about this earlier too. Like you can free fresh by discarding a copy of the big maple.
Mhm.
So it's like, if you have the quad in your hand, you can free fresh then play it all after you walled and collected all that stock.
Also, spoiler alert: the set has climax swap, so
yeah, they
it's
do.
getting your Neg Soul pretty easy.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, other level 1 combo. Is you, Tyler?
All right. This is who is this?
This is my.
That's my.
All right, during your turn, for each of your other game characters, this gains 500 power, so it can get up to 65. And this ability activates up to 1 time per turn. When this card's damage is canceled, if this 2 soul is in the climax zone, you can choose up to 1 game character in your waiting room, put it to stock, reveal the top card of your library. If that card is a game character, put it in your hand.
Is that you, Bunny Girl Union?
Well,
It's on cancel.
It's
On
on cancel, yeah.
well, okay, wait. So the Kokoro was like this, but it was on stock soul. And that was a
Not the
salvage,
new soul.
right? It gave itself something else. Right? How did the Kokoro work, Brian?
Yeah, the Kokoro was on climax play. The Kokoro and something else gain on attack or on cancel salvage 1.
And this is like on cancel selective stock, like random plus.
Random plus, yeah.
But it's on a 2 soul.
So you'll be swinging for 3/3/3 at the least.
That seems fine.
That's fine. I mean, you'll probably get like at least hopefully 2 pluses as long as you. I mean, the thing is though, if you reveal, actually, never mind.
If your
Yeah, I mean,
opponent eats it and you get nothing, are you
Then
far
just
enough
did,
ahead?
like, 9 damage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then you're-
that's the concept of this type of
Yeah,
card.
you're far
is
enough
you're either
ahead, it
eating
doesn't matter.
shit, or you're getting a bunch of stock and pluses.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Mhm.
But you don't get to choose which win. It's kind of like both results are good, but you don't get to choose the result.
Right, and sometimes you win, but you also lose.
At least it swings in at 6-5. It's not like small and has this
No.
effect.
One of the most playable combos I've seen off of a two soul climax. Also, like, this is like a legitimate combo you could play if you really want to play like a two soul beatdown strategy. Like this is actually like a good combo.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't play tested this yet, but it seems at least fun.
I think it's meta dependent too. So like,
Hmm.
check it out. Like I think, like in Data Live meta, and in metas where like you want to be siding. So maybe if there's like a lot of, let's say, Oboro combos for like Megamine Oboro combos, or like a lot of big standby targets, you know, where you don't necessarily care to front them because they'll just pop back to hand, or they'll just back up over you, or they're just going to be huge. This lets you really side attack effectively when you need to.
Yeah, and even if they cancel that, like if they cancel a normal attack, you get super far ahead. If the second part hits too.
Yeah.
Because it's the other problem with two soul decks, bleeding hand. Like this does help you keep up hand. And like if you're that much far ahead, if your opponent's eating like 4s on first deck, like you're ahead enough where you can clock
Yeah.
for those extra cards.
A little bit, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's totally fine if you want to play a deck. I think it's made better by the next card, which also climax combos off. It's also a level 1. The climax combos off the exact same climax. I guess this is back to Andy.
Yo!
Yeah.
All right, so Yui. All right. Also, same combo. During your turn, for each of your other game characters, this also gets 500 power. And when your opponent levels up, if you have King of Destruction, and she's in your front row, you can choose a game character in your waiting room, put it in your stock, reveal top card, put it into your hand. So same effect, but it's on level up instead of damage.
Yeah, so it's level up and cancel. So if you play like, I think the ideal you would play one of these, two of the, because this kicks no matter what, right?
Oh yeah, it's not on this attack. It just has to exist.
It has to be in the front row. It can't sit in the back row. But like, I think you play one of this and two of the other ones. So like, it puts your opponent in a catch-22, right? Where it's like, if they level up, you plus. If they cancel, you plus harder, right? And canceling, like, let's be honest, is the more common outcome. So you play 2. You play like 2 Mai's and 1 Yui, and you get something no matter what happens.
Right.
Well, I think it depends, like, where your opponent's at also.
Yeah, if they're like close to a level up, you know.
Let's say your opponent's at like X5 or X6, you know, I feel like I'd rather play like 2 or 3. I'd probably rather just have 3 of this, and then, you know, you can start off with some side attacks to like swing for low to make sure you get the level up, and really tramp on the gas once you get it.
Yeah, because they'll all
or
pick.
if they're lower clock, like at like X1, X2, you can go more for like the damage cancel ones, or if they're like 4 o'clock, like somewhere in the middle, you can split them.
I like that you can just run 8.
What?
You can just run 8 of your level 1 combo.
Yeah, just run all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
just
also
run
another
8.
thing. You're just gonna, you know, drawback of running a 2 soul climax is that you know, you're not running a gate or something else that's gonna like get you into your cards. But that's fine because you just have 8 copies and we'll just inherently draw it.
It's also just good throughout the game. You'll always have one on the board, and if you're a 2 soul deck, you're playing as many 2 souls as possible. And there is a climax swapper that can help you get back into your 2 soul. You can play like 2 soul and pants, because like pants is on a spoiler alert stock swap. Like you play like this super aggressive plan, and if you're losing, even if you're like losing board and your opponent is like farming you, then their stock starts to become a liability, and like you get to like then recur like 2 souls and have stock swap available. Like pretty nasty for a really aggressive deck.
I guess the thing I don't like about it though is, so like I was saying earlier, how you kind of like set it up. Which one you go for, the Mai or the Yui, it depends on like what your opponent's clock's looking like going into your attack step, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be really reactive with that.
Right.
You kind of have to do a lot of sculpting that turn. It's hard to know like how do you set up for it? Because your opponent's clock on your next turn is going to be determined at the end of your last turn, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, I think at the end of the day, you'll play what you got, and if you have the opportunity to play 2 of one and 1 of the other, you'll do so, but you'll play what you have.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. So it's good that you have 2 synergistic effects, where you'll get something no matter what happens, as long as you have some number of one or the other down. Which is more than most Two Soul decks can say.
You think this could straight up be the I could straight up see this being the plus and combo of choice for Bofuri at level
Yeah.
1.
Maybe I've never seen this played.
I think the Sally's too good.
And yes, I do know what the is that the Shizu?
Yeah, the 2 cigarettes is a little bit too good because it swings in at 8k for no reason.
Yeah, but you can't run 8 copies of that. You can run 8 copies of this, and this is on 2 soul, and 2 souls win games.
That's true. Your opponent
2 souls damage does win games. I just think it's a little too fragile for me, but I think if you want to play a 2 soul, this is probably how you do it. I'd be interested in seeing an aggressive deck that runs this and like the Musashi cancel burn package, because it does build stock, and that's already efficient, and you don't have to hold a lot of hand.
I'm gonna actually errata my rating on the last card. I didn't realize there was like a second half to this. I'm gonna give both this Yui and the Mai before. I'm gonna give them the A. I think they're I think you could really. This is a really good combo, actually.
I think
Soul.
it's like the only playable 2 soul combo. I'm just too spooked on 2 soul combos, and this is coming from the guy who played Dodai last night.
I love 2 souls. The new Regan combo from Mob Psycho. The card's sick.
Is that the Salt Splash?
It's the Esper kick one, the one that bounces stuff.
Oh, that one. So you can swing even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Broken. All right, we can move to the next one, Brian.
All right, we've got another Maple, level 3. On play, choose a character from your hand whose level is equal to or lower than your current level. Put it on any slot of your stage, and that character gains 2,000 power for the turn. So it's a summoner that gives the thing it summons 2k. And when this card attacks, you can pay 2. If you do choose one of your characters, that gains cancel burn 1 for the turn.
It's fine.
It's a summoner, and it's it's an off finisher, I guess.
You can give a character that burns or restands an instance of cancel burn, despite it being expensive, like notable.
It fits that whole cancel burn strategy, but
for one stock,
you can always you can tap out and then swing last with this.
So if you summon a Musashi with this, for 1 stock, you got 2 soul bodies, and one of them was a Musashi.
Oh, that's true, because you play
yeah,
and it gives you the stock. That's
it's like hyper efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the summoner I think has a lot of ways to get some cheese. It makes what is it? 2 soul bodies and a stock swap 3 stock. 2 soul bodies and a Musashi 1 stock. Obviously playing any sort of healer from hand. So 2 soul bodies and a heal. Has a lot of things you want to do. I think it's definitely a one of in most decks that you want to try to fit if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have the slot to do so. I think this card can be really strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, summoner effect I think is too good.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of like level 3s with on-play abilities that you can get a lot of mileage out of, which I think makes this a lot better. I think the second effect is really fucking expensive, which brings it down. I think it's just like a B plus B card. It's like somewhere in there, somewhere in like B plus B. But card's definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, summoners can't be bad.
That's true.
There's too much cheese in there.
Broken effect, yeah.
I think context to the set, it's like a B plus. You're saying you have all these stock crunch issues. I think summoners are probably at their best in decks where you're having a stock crunch.
Like
Because going into your last turn, it lets you push tempo going into your final turns.
Yeah.
Being able to say, I don't have much stock left, but I can still play multiple big threats.
Yeah.
And even though the second effect is expensive, Carmen,
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you can just choose herself. So you swing with her. If you tap completely out and you swing with her last, you have 2 stock to pay to give herself the cancel burn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
True.
Just,
So
in, just in
even if
case.
you're paying all your stock out going into your attack step, you can still always get the cancel burn.
It's an off finisher with a lot of utility in one card.
Mm-hmm.
Card's really good. All right. A much spicier card. I think this is me, right?
Yep.
We got this. This is Yui. On attack, you look at the 2 cards at the top of your library. Choose 1 card from the long and put it on top of your library. I put the remaining cards in the waiting room. And then when the damage from this card is canceled, you may return the top card of your stock to your hand. So you plus from your stock if this card's damage is canceled. This isn't the spicy one. I lied. The spicy one is the Mai.
Yeah, so this card lets you choose your trigger, and then if the attack cancels, you get what you triggered back to your hand.
Yeah.
Good synergy with 2 soul.
That's true.
Get your climax.
Yeah, it does help you rip into your climax. You trigger 3. You trigger for 3. If they cancel it, you get a 2 soul back to your hand.
Yeah, seems like a really good include in the decks if you're running the Mai and Yui combo at level 1. And just, even not in that build, it's still a choose your own trigger, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I
include.
think the Mai. I mean, we'll get to it in 2 cards. I remember the Mai being a lot spicier and a lot. But this card's just this card's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna run it in the 2 soul deck, I think it's a lot better. It's probably closer to the B.
It's better when you're running 2 souls for sure. Yeah, agreed.
I assume that's what the slash means, Andy. In that deck, it's probably a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tyler. Oh, you got this one.
All right. When this attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If that card's level 1 or higher, choose one of your. So it's a coin flip clean cut.
Funny.
This is the other card that confused the hell out of me when Zach used it
It doesn't work.
last week.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I tried it. This was my very first attempt at trying to make a level 0, like a plussing level 0. It never hit.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's not consistent enough. I'm running it as Yellow Fix and Maple Waifu, and that's the only reason why it's in the deck.
Does the deck have a top check 2 rearrange effect?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It does.
It's in blue. It is a they run it in 8 standby specifically to have knowledge of their triggers. Or at least Japan has. Japan really values that effect. Even in 8 standby Dow, they run 4 Coterie drop salvages. Just because it has that first effect. Because in 8 standby, they think that effect is necessary.
It is really nice, especially in standby, having knowledge of do you want to fill up your board this turn, or how many spaces do you need to leave open?
They just want to ramp as many 2/2s into the front row as possible.
Yeah, I think it's really good in 8 standby. But it also has really nice incidental synergy with this clean cut as well. Because you can look at your top 2 cards and make sure that you hit the clean cut effect on this.
Right.
Because it reveals on attack. So you swing with your card you want to cut first, and then you know that your second card down is a hit for this. Swing with this second, guarantee the clean cut. And this play can actually be used at any point in the game too, which is really nice. Because, Carmen, you like to say that the clean cuts have long game value because you can trigger them later in the game too and save something.
Yeah.
It seems like a even better version of that though, if you combine it with the top check too.
Yeah, my problem there would be the number of slots to get the effect. Whereas if I'm running a clean cut, it's if my opponent decides to chump any lane, they give me a massive opportunity to plus. But it's
it might not be a 4 of though. I could see you run it if the top check 2 rearrange is good, you could run 3 or 4 of that and maybe 2 of this or something.
It's pretty sus. The top check 2
have this more as the incidental piece of it, or 3 and 3.
The top check 2 is one of those you both call your top cards and you get cards back if your card is higher or some shit. So the card itself incentivizes you to put a higher level card on top, and then to hit the clean cut you need a higher level card to reveal on your second attack. So it's like it's ant or synergy within the same card. But like, it is what it is. It's like a coin flip. I think Tyler said it best. It's a coin flip to clean cut. Is a coin flip to clean cut worth playing? Probably not, but it's at least funny.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think so. It's the fact that you are not 100% sure of the fact that you're going to be able to clean cut is a huge turnoff for this card, as far as
yeah,
I'm
because
concerned.
when I play a clean cut, I want to clean cut my brainstorm.
Yeah, I remember like back to the Madoka set review. I think we were talking about just like when do you really play clean cuts? It's when you're going second and you want to try field,
Yeah, and
right? So
this
this
isn't a
doesn't give you that
guarantee.
guarantee. It's still with a lot of potential though. Is this the first time they've printed
Yes.
sort of
I think
effect?
so.
Yeah, first time. Never existed
Okay.
before.
Hopefully
Give it
it's
a
the last.
conservative C.
Lots of firsts in Bofuri in terms of
Mhm.
like effects, which is why like we were saying how like in our upcoming set reviews we're gonna try to cut cards, and gonna tell you I went through every single card. It's really hard to remove any chaff from the set because there's so much weird shit going on. Got to go over it all. But moving on, I think this is back to Andy. Right?
Back to me. We got Mai. It's level 0 Mai. When this is placed from your hand to stage, you can discard 2 game characters. If you do, look at the top 2 cards from the top of your library. Choose up to 1 from among them, put it in your hand, and put the remaining cards to stock in any order.
Yeah, so this is the spicy one. The
Hmm.
ditch 2, stock charge 2, or a ditch 2, or a ditch 1, like off the top of your deck, and like it can't whiff on the cards on top.
It's either ditch 2, stock 2, or ditch 2, draw 1, stock 1.
Can help
Right.
you get your climax. I think at the end of the day, this effect, you can think about this effect, and you can make cases for it being pretty good, but ditching 2 hand is like pretty rough, even at level 0. Especially when it can't be anything. If you could ditch anything, I'd be more willing to like
They have to be careful.
entertain it.
Yeah.
You have to ditch characters.
Yeah, this card's a little suspect, I think.
The effect is really spicy.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hand filtering though, and a lot of selection on what you can do. But unfortunately, you can't choose to draw both of them.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
I think that would make the card a lot more playable.
If you were able to ditch if you were able to ditch any 2 cards, I feel like I'd be a little hotter on this card.
I don't know. It reads so interesting. Like you can think of all these situations where it would be good, where it gets into your climax. It like filters your hand. Like helps sculpt you for level 1. Things like that. Like it helps you keep up a stock crunch, but like it's just
I'm not sure how realistic that is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not realistic. I think that's the problem. The card that can read and make you think more than it's probably worth being entertained.
Is it fine throwing this in your deck as a one of?
If anything,
for the
yeah.
times when ramping 2 stock wins you the game, you go for it, and the other times you just don't do the enter effect on this, and you just play it as a level 0 and turn it sideways.
For the one combo that requires like 6 stock, probably. I think there's one like top end combo that requires a ton of stock.
Not even necessarily in that deck, but just in any Bofuri build. Couldn't you just splash this as a one of, and just like have that option available for you? If you really
Most of
wanna
the
ramp?
stuff is free during attack, and then like it you have to pay for it in main phase, so this doesn't help you on the one turn in main phase, which is I think where it would be stronger.
What do you mean?
Like it wants you. Bofuri's a
This
deck
is main
where
phase ramp.
it's not. Or wait, it is main phase. It is main phase. I thought this was on attack. Never mind.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, sure.
I think you could. This is like a just a one of has a lot of potential.
Bigger words.
Oh my god! The set just came out. It does have potential. It's not like
I'm just fucking with you. No, it's fine. I read this card and I was also like, huh. There are things that can be done with it. It's just a little too spooky to discard 2 characters. That's
dude. It's Weiss Schwarz. The fail case is it's a 2K and you turn it sideways and you don't do the effect.
I mean that's also true.
Yeah.
Would
Still
there
built
ever
in
be a
stock,
time where
built
you
with
just
value.
didn't do the effect? You
Uh,
played this
prob-
card as a one of. You'd probably always do the effect if you played it.
You think?
If you played as a one of.
Because it does neg you
Well,
one
what if you open with it? It's like, oh well, it's just
Well, if
Slap.
I open
I'm going
with it,
first. I don't have.
if I
don't have
open
my
with it,
table.
if I open with it and I don't have my climax yet, and I have some level 3s, I think I would go for it.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe.
No, I think you actually would, yeah, because if you had a better level 0 to open with, you'd play the better 0. If this is your
Yeah,
only
this
level
is your
0,
only
you
one.
gotta dig yourself into more.
Yeah, at worst, it gets you another level 0 or something, I guess.
Filters 2 useless cards out of your hand at the moment.
I wonder if there's anything really stupid you could do on your first turn if you had 2 stock. Because this is like an enabler. It's like those cards that let you put hand to stock. So like if you go first, you can have 2 stock on your second turn. Like maybe that's where this card like sees its value.
Is there anything that like pay a cost, summon something like of a higher level from your graveyard sort of thing?
I don't think so.
this set?
We're vanilla Hearthstone now. We're coin innervate Yeti.
Yeah, sort of, right? Or it's like, no. Well, I mean, like, what is it? Like, I hate this because I was playing Dodai the other night. You play a 4 of a card where all it does is put a card from your hand into your stock because Dodai costs 2. So if you want to pop off on your second turn of the game, you need to have 2 stock. But if you go first, you can only attack once. So like if you have an effect like that, this card gets better. You know what I mean? Like if there is something you want to do with 2 stock at level 0, this is an enabler. So that's relevant. Does it make the card any better? No, but it makes it relevant. All right, let's move on. Next card.
All right. We've got this. What is his name?
Crom.
Crom.
Lucina.
Chrome or Crom?
Lucina.
I think it's Chrome.
Chrome.
I'll look it up. Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay. Level 0, 2000 power. On play, if you have another game character, he goes up to 4K for the turn. On attack, you may ditch a card. If you do, choose another one of your game characters and bounce it back to your hand.
It is Chromu. Chrome.
Chromu.
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 That's
Chrome.
Chromu.
It's
Chrome.
Chrome.
Seems like a solid include in decks that are running either bar or pants. You just swing with this last, and you have a way to discard that excess climax to get one of your characters back.
Bounce a character you crashed, maybe. Yeah.
These
This seems
bouncers
like a
can be
third
good.
lane.
These bouncers can be really good when you're playing a very aggressive deck. Like the one in Dow when you're playing Choice is really strong. I don't know if there's anything that keeps up hand enough to play this, because like the 2 soul wouldn't keep up hand enough, I don't think, to warrant playing this as a third lane. Because you could run 8 of the 2 soul cards, so you'd always play another copy of the 2 soul card over this, right?
Carmen,
Yeah.
What?
you know what you could do?
What?
You could play that last card. You could play that
And
mine.
then you could bounce
Get
the
2
mine.
stock,
Play it
and
again.
bounce it back to your hand, you could do it again next turn.
So that you can -3 plus 2 stock every turn.
Broken.
I don't know if that's
But
worth
you'll have
it.
like 6 stock on your 6-7 stock on your third turn.
That's random from the top of your deck. It is funny though. Yeah, I don't know if the set can support the card, but the card's
It's
fine.
It's maybe got some uses, yeah.
First effect is better than average, like so. Fine. Here's a good card.
There she blows.
There she is, yeah.
Yeah, we got this. This is Yui. Can't side attacks. It's because it's a 3K, and then it's a climax swapper. So it's a 3K climax swapper. So you get to run. If you run this at 2 or 1, it just ups your +0 count by 1 or 2 for however many copies you want to run it. If you run a field plus, you just like gain an additional field plusing slot coincidentally. That is also a climax swap in a relevant color.
There she blows.
Yeah, I like the card. Card's good.
Yeah, card's good. This is like a 1 or 2 of in like every Bofuri deck. If you're not playing 8 standby, because 8 standby they're all blank. But like, yeah, this card's pretty nuts.
Yeah, agreed.
You have to have a really good reason to not run at least one of this card in basically every deck. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. Pretty simple, pretty good.
Nice, good on commons.
Oh, this card's sick.
Next, this card is nasty.
Who's this?
This is you, Tyler. Yeah.
All right. So, one minute climax is placed in your climax zone. Pay the cost, which is 1. Look at top 4 taker, level 1 or higher, and put the rest to waiting room. And then also, it is a blink. So rest it. Choose one of your opponent's characters. Send it to memory. Comes back in any slot.
Repeatable blink Kamagi. That can add events.
That can add event, yeah.
I think this card has like potential to be run in standby, where standby wants to run the 2/2 green event, but like nobody's tried it yet because it eats a level 1 slot. But
Yeah,
like
the problem that I've seen with this is like in the choice decks, which you're in yellow for. Your back row is pretty full because you're trying to run some sort of back row support, and you need your brainstorm too.
yeah, your back row's hell in every Bofuri deck, including 8 standby and Pants Choice. Your back row is like constantly cycling. You're like constantly your shitter lane is the back row you shoved up from the previous turn. Is my experience playing the deck, because there's so many back rows that you want to put in that are like good.
So
they're good for that one turn, and then you cash them out.
I think you're thinking about the card wrong. It's I don't think you play this just in any deck, right? Or if you, I think this is a tech card.
It is absolutely.
You play it for the blink.
This isn't an Amagi first. This is every turn I'm going to blink something on your field. Oh, by the way, it's also an Amagi.
Yeah, because it makes it not dead.
If you're playing against Soul Walls, if you're playing against like I don't know anything else that maybe Persona, where they have their jokers with the markers under them, and you want to clear their markers every turn.
Yeah,
you
there's
can
Ram too.
blink the Obro combos.
Obero combos where they're going to pop back. Aaron, Fate to Bear Aaron, where they're going to pop back. I think this is more of like a tech card that just ousts these strategies that have cross-turn effects.
And it's not dead in other matchups because it's an Amagi.
You just get to incidentally play 2 or 3 of this tech card, and it's worst case scenario, it's an Amagi. In other cases, it's a matchup-defining card.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like a reason to pick up and play Bofuri.
I mean,
If
the
you're
card's
playing
definitely
Bofuri,
good.
you might be playing the set for this card.
I don't know about that completely because there's so much other Bofuri. So another thing, Bofuri is a very big anti-fun set. They have a lot of anti-fun things going on, as in like very anti-other deck strategies. They don't have anything like anti-heal, but this is one of the anti-cards. They have this. They have level down. This and level down kind of fulfill a similar role.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas level down is a body you attack with, and it's pitch a card, and this is a card that sits in your back row and you tap. So in a way, they are pitch a card. This is a little bit less like intensive on your hand because again, it's also an Amagi.
It's also an Amagi, but I mean, there's going to be matchups where the blink effect doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
There's going to be matchups where it is a matchup winning card.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like I think Bofuri you can like afford to run like one of this or something for those matchups because you have the other tools that also like fulfill that. So you can run like one of this, one level down, or something like that. Some other things like you don't even need to dedicate that many slots to it, unless you have like some higher level events you want to grab. The 2/2 event is a reason to like play multiple of this because they have it's like the computer chip, but it's only 2 soul, but it's online at level 2, like -1/-1 anywhere on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And it selects. So like
yeah, I think I'm giving this card the A because the effect can be so destructive in certain matchups, but the baseline is high enough that you just can throw this in every Bofuri deck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna give it the B because
I
it's level 1
I
or
don't
higher.
think it goes in every Bofuri deck. I think it goes in most though.
Yeah,
Well, I guess you need enough yellow to support it at level
it
1.
is level 1. Yeah.
Most level 1s are blue. I think if you're gonna play this as a tech, you probably play one of it, and like you slam it down only in those matchups where it's saving you, and in the other matchups, it's not a dead card because at least you can Amagi and attack in the same turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like it's not bad as a one of either, which is a feather in the card's cap rather than a detriment.
Yeah, solid on commons.
Yeah. Card reads pretty nasty though. For like the current like English like environment.
Yeah, I mean everything that's being released right now is level
Even for
down
Dow,
and,
dude.
And Blink is really
Even
solid.
If you blink their cards that have the Toka power and shit on them, that power goes away. Like
Mhm.
even in the 8 standby matchups. So like the blink is always good. Alright. Now this is the sex robot. But it's Yui. Whose card is this? I just took it.
I
Mine.
have no idea.
This is a sex
Andy.
robot.
This is Andy, I believe. Yeah.
4,000 power on your turn. She's 7,500.
You don't have a way to summon or
Sex
do
robot.
anything with this.
Yeah, it's boring.
Not good.
All right. Up next, we've got this is level 2, cost 1, 5,000 power. When the battle opponent of your other character becomes reversed, so when you kill something in another lane, you choose one of your game characters. That character gets 3,000 power, so it gives rolling power. And it also has a climax combo with this wind. During your encore step, you can put the wind from your climax area to the waiting room. If you do, choose 2 game characters from your waiting room and put them into your stock.
I don't like
Wish it came online at level 1. Wish this was a 1/1 instead of a 2/1.
Yeah. I guess they want this to sit in your back row and give you rolling power every turn, but
I just hate it.
yeah, I'm not really about that.
Because to get the usefulness from the stock ramp, like it just seems like it comes on too late.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you hit level 2, you want to go for your soul wall combo probably. And then you would need to go for this card the next turn, which means you're not going for your soul wall, which is kind of
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what deck you're trying to jam this in.
I don't think it's completely unplayable. It's just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. Vanilla. Nobody wastes their
Vanilla.
turn. Vanilla. Next card. We got this is. Place your hand to stage, choose one of your opponent's front row characters. For the turn, that character gets minus 3k. On play, minus 3k. And a front row
That's-
slot only. That's a
that's
lot of
solid.
power. That's a lot of
Yeah.
power. That's stronger than the on attack 2500 from the trial deck we saw. Because at worst, it's plus 3k to a lane, right? At
Mhm.
best, it kills the character entirely. Any character with an on death or on reverse effect is going to be 3,000 power or less. Just kills the card.
Good way to deal with your opponent's JCs if they have them in the front row.
Yeah.
Or like a
It
bomb
even
or
deals with
something,
the
yeah.
Cardinal JC and sort of Alicization.
It
Which
is
is
just
actually
a
3K is
101k.
relevant there.
101k. Hmm.
Who cares? It's the same thing as the one that like pumps 2,500 power. It's like, okay, this card's not like
Yeah.
it's not living back to your turn anyway. Who cares how
It's
much power it has?
like just a C. It's like if for some
Yeah.
reason you needed this effect, you play it.
Yeah.
It does potentially open a lane. It's interesting to consider for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We got the card that goes with the thing. Tyler.
Alright. If there's at least one marker under this, this gains 3,500 power and +1 soul. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose a My Twin Girl in your waiting room and put it face up under as a marker.
This is the cheeser.
Hey, it's my hot principal.
Yeah. This profile is better than it reads. That's all I have to say.
I mean, 102 soul is fine.
We've been doing some testing with this profile in the last 24 hours.
Post-ban Grisaya, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in 3K vanilla is serviceable. So
That is a lot of slots. I think the issue between Grisaya and like Grisaya where it is now in Bofuri is really tight on slots in its current builds. But like this engine's fine.
yeah, it doesn't seem bad at all to me.
A 3K
It is a lot of
vanilla is
slots.
really whatever. Like if you
The one thing that makes this card maybe a little better than you would initially suspect is that if you have a way to like salvage this card back to your hand, right? Like because it has its marker under it, if your opponent ends up killing it on their turn or whatever, like these will both go to the graveyard at the same time. So even if you get pushed to your next deck, you'll still have the marker in graveyard. So if you can salvage this card back, you can play it again and you still have your marker.
mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Hmm.
But I think for Bofuri specifically, like you're already kind of clogged on like that.
There's also
vanilla
not
3K
much
spot.
waiting room access either.
Yeah, like maybe with the cigarette combo, but it's like not on your turn. I mean, that's for next turn, and that's kind of
Right.
Yeah,
awkward.
it's a little awkward.
But marker compression.
And
Right,
you're
yeah,
already
marker
clogging on 3Ks at level 0, right? You have the climax swap that's a 3K.
Yeah.
Um,
This is like good in the My Yui deck, I
Yeah.
guess, is the only deck that could like really support
The two
the
soul deck.
slots if you were playing like just these two characters and a character
I
deck.
don't know if that deck can support that.
Yeah,
slot,
I don't know if it does
actually.
either because you're running.
I mean, if you're playing a character deck like a waifu
Play, like,
OTG
8.
deck or something, but
You play like 8 of the level 1 combo. How do you like 3 and 3 of this?
Yeah,
Mm.
fit more level 1s. I'm not sure.
you don't necessarily need to run 3 and 3 the level 1 4 and 4 the level 1 combo too. You could run 3 and 3 or 4 and 2 or 4 and 3.
Hmm. Got some options there.
True.
But regardless, I mean, in that build in the Mayan Yui deck, you'd be giving up a lot of deck spots anyway to have cramming
Yeah.
level 1 combos. This is like 8 more deck spots.
But yeah, better than it reads, I think, is where we could leave it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the top, right?
Yep.
Back to Andy.
Ooh, that Maple, she's got like a hand cannon here.
She's got a
Yeah.
gun. Yep.
Yeah, she's got that.
Badass. When you use the backup of this, you can pay 2. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent.
Betty
500
counter.
counter. Very cool. I'd run this over the 3500 counter, but it's just such a spicy ability there.
Hmm.
You can like
Can't
split
not
it.
like that.
You can split it, yeah. I used to split this in ReZero. When I was
Yeah,
running like a bazillion, I was like running 5 counters or something.
Yeah, I like the Betty counter in ReZero. The problem you might run into with this is you might not have the stock to reliably do the burn if you need it. Though usually you just hold it for.
But that's on
This-
your opponent's turn. You salvage this or whatever. Like you build up your stock on your attacks and then
Grab it off choice, bro.
hang on.
Oh, that's true. It has a soul trigger. Yep.
Grab it off choice. So you do have access to the card.
Mhm. Yeah, cards. Not
Yeah,
bad.
spicy. D+ for the spice.
Yeah, I'll give it C+ for spice.
The way to deal damage on your opponent's turn. Pretty cool. It's you, Brian.
All right, we've got this Mai. She is a 2/1 7K, and she gives this other 2/1 Yui 7K 3K power.
We'll just go to the next one. They're the same card.
Yeah, the Yui gives 3K to the Mai, and the
Yeah,
Mai gives
so
3K to the Yui.
just rate this one, and they're the same. They both
Did
suck.
we literally look at a 2-1 11K earlier?
Yes.
What?
Well, if you have multiple copies of them, they get bigger.
Oh wait, they do get bigger. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Mhm.
D-.
Not all of them are 2. If you have 3 copies on your field, right? Like 2 and 1. One of them's gonna be 13K. The other 2 will be 10Ks.
Well, say you have like 3 of one and 2 of the other.
No, if you have
Then
3,
like the two of the other can sit in the back while the other 3 are in the front.
Tyler.
yes.
What?
That's
Tyler,
5.
come on.
No, if you have 3 and 2,
I'm not
wouldn't-
saying
I
this is
wouldn't
good.
even
I'm
swing that- I
giving
wouldn't
you
even swing
reasons
that up,
of
dude.
why it would be not atrocious.
if you have 3 and 2,
That still sounds pretty bad.
No, if you have 3 and 2, the 2 sit at 16k.
I don't know. You can grab them off choice.
You
Yeah,
can grab
you can
them
grab them off choice.
16k is broken. Beat that power.
No, you can make one that's 19k.
You can also do that.
Yeah, you can play what? Yeah,
You
it's just says so much power.
Get
How do you?
four 10ks and a 19k, bro.
Yeah,
Can't-
dude,
you can't beat
19k.
this.
Deck spots are tight, but you know what? I think we can make room for this. It's a lot of power.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, this is bad. This is bad.
I'm building this deck in English when Bofuri
Skipping.
comes.
Skipping the Hiromu.
Just find someone who opens the case and just
Give me
Just
all
like
of these
that.
cards. Like I said, I'm still buying the Mamoru Otsuki from Fujimi. And mail them to my house, my PO box. I'll give you my PO box. And mail them there. All right, so we got the Chromu. When this attacks, level of the character it's attacking is level 3 or higher. It gains 6,000 power, so it's 13k. Pretty decent. It's like sort of the floor. Once you get to 12.5, it gets a little rough in terms of actually killing the early plays. And then when it becomes reversed, you coin flip for level 2s. Lisbeth coin flip. So when it becomes reversed, you reveal top. It's a level 2 or higher card. It rests itself as a early play killer. Pretty neat.
At least
very
my
nice.
man-
You run
my
it
man,
into their early play, and then coin flip saves itself to deal with
Run
their
it
early
back
play
over
on the
again.
next
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, at least my man Kuromu got some flavor in his card.
Yeah, because he never dies. That's his thing. He got this like this. He's wearing it. This cringe armor. So when he's wearing the cringe armor, he doesn't. He can go down. He has like the high level barbarian effect in D&D or whatever. Or the orc effect. It's an orc racial feat. When you hit 1 HP or 0 HP, you go to 1 instead.
Yeah, he just has like a 50-50 chance of
Yeah.
not dying.
Bro, that's not cringe. That's poggers.
Well, the armor looks pretty cringe. Come on.
I thought it looked cool, dude. I like that. It's like got the face
Yeah,
mask
he's-
and everything.
He's our
Cool.
little pog champ.
He is.
But yeah, no, I mean, as an early play killer, this is I would give this like a B plus. Or
No,
no,
but yeah.
it's actually like a B. Like
The card's
Kinda
pretty,
like
card's
a-
pretty solid, yeah.
any chance for an early play killer to do literally anything other than its one job is like a good thing. If it gets run over and it coin flips, what if you're at level 3? Who cares? Your opponent has level 3s now. Kill him again.
It doesn't necessarily need to be an early play. It just has to
Be a
put 3
level
in the
3.
corner.
Yeah. But yeah, card's fine. All these cards been like. That's why I said it's like almost impossible to cut chaff from this. Like there's some,
Right.
but like
Well, we could have cut the extreme swing.
ah,
We could have.
they're
Wow.
cute.
They're
That's a
cute.
hater.
All right, Tyler. Oh, you got this one.
Yeah, we got a 3/3 event where all your characters get on cancel burn 1.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Slam that with a bunch of Musashis or even
Yeah.
just a couple level 3s.
Ooh,
Yeah,
A plus.
You have
Yeah,
ways
it
to
is.
get to the event.
It's a solid card. It plays better than it reads.
It's a spooky one. Those pings will get you.
When you're a deck that holds board and you have to swing into open lanes after holding board with your Neg Soul combo, cancel burn on the cards that you already have on board is like probably one of the best things you could do. Like it has good synergy with what you want to do with like yellow being your high level top end, right?
Mhm.
Like so I think
So-
that's what makes it good.
So I like the card. I think triple cancel burn's really nice, and I think it's costed appropriately. I think it's a very reasonable cost. But Carmen, it is an event card. Can we bond to it?
We cannot bond to it. However, we do have ways to get into the card. And we only really want to play one because it is a 3/3.
Hmm.
And unlike other events like this is like your top end. If you run this, you run like 3 of it. And like you have one of it and you're like, yeah, this is my finisher. And like the rest of your sculpting is for like your Nexal walls. I think that's fine.
Wait. So you run it as a 1 of or a 3 of?
3 of.
Okay.
Yeah, but you only play one at a
You
time.
only
But you
play
only
one
play
of
one. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you only ever aim to play one of this card. If you can resolve multiple of this card, you're sacking. You won the game anyway.
Well, that's another.
On
It's
cancel
kind,
burn
you can like maybe just run a
Final
deck
Burn.
without level 3 characters. Maybe you just play 8 2 souls and you don't play level 3 characters, and you just get to your finisher turn. You play 2 or 3 of these, and you just get them.
Maybe. I don't know. She's eating a ladybug.
That's how she got all of her abilities. She just ate stuff.
Yeah, that is how she gets all of her abilities, is she eats everything.
Hey, it's like reincarnated as a slime.
Sort of, except she's a small girl.
Well, so is the slime.
Yeah,
Who
based
eats
No,
a
Slime's a
giant
boy.
Hydra.
Yeah, I don't know if the card's an A. It's somewhere in the like B plus. Yeah, it's probably an A. I think
I'll get an A, yeah.
I think it's the fact that, like Andy said, I think the cost is right on the money. This is like expensive, but not unachievable. It can replace. I like the synergy with the Maple. Can you afford to do it with the Maple Nexol? In my experience, the answer's been no. Tyler says yes. So more more testing needs to be done.
3 times. You have 3 stock for this to use next turn.
The best counter that you have to defend them costs 1. So like you'd need 1
Well,
overhead
do
somewhere.
do you need a counter at that point? You're
If you wanna-
transitioning into your kill turn. You're
Well, you'd
turning
wanna-
the corner at that point.
this
as they'd
reward
say.
well this card specifically rewards you for winning lanes because it's cancel burner.
Well, yeah, but you can also just you win your other lanes. Maybe they stretch to get over your 1 soul wall, and you say, okay, you can get over it this time. You know, and now I'm gonna play this.
You
event
can
and kill you.
summon 1 back for free if you just pitch your whole hand.
Like it's just the concept with control decks where you have to turn the corner at some point. This is when you turn the corner.
I'm almost talking myself down. Maybe it's more like A minus. I think there's just a little bit too much stock issue to run it in the same deck as the Nexol stuff. But maybe there is a deck that plays this card because I think this card is sick.
Yeah, it's definitely really good when it goes off.
This with the Musashis is a lot of fucking cancel burn.
Yeah.
But yeah, card's cool. Card's got cute art. Card's good.
Man, if only those other combos were off of shot trigger instead of.
There's not a
Choice
single
trigger.
shot trigger in this set, thank God. They brought choice trigger to remove shot trigger from the game. No more shots.
It's kind of weird though, because like there's so much cancel burn. I don't know why they don't have shots.
I can't remember the last time they printed a shot actually in a JP set. Have they printed a have we seen a singular shot in the past 6-7 sets?
I can't think of one.
Yeah, there hasn't been a shot in the past 6-7 sets. I think the trigger is being phased.
They just they're killing my favorite triggers.
Yeah,
they got rid of bag and shot with choice.
But bag's back. Or we're printing bag again.
I'm gonna.
No, we're getting green 0.
Gonna miss egg trigger though. Yeah.
Egg trigger. Scrambled eggs. All right, we'll see you guys in green.